Cauã de novo, vai Cauã, fez metade, Cauãzinho, é na tua, Cauã!
O tempo tá passando, Funil, tem que correr o jogador, vai tentar contato,
Welcome back to day 5 of VCT America's Kickoff, everybody. I'm Uber on the desk once again with Bala and Wyatt. And in our second matchup, Aspas will take on his former teammates when Leviatán faces Loud. And I'm pretty sure to call this a hotly anticipated matchup would be a gross understatement here. We have the international super team going up against another ambitious Sadak project. He's put together, built this up, and it's already looked pretty darn good.
He never disappoints. I mean, you saw it last year with the same type of story, right? When they brought in Tuiz, when they brought in Cauãzinho, a lot of people doubted, and here they are again with a new project. Not having Aspas on the team is a big blow, but so far it's looking good. In that first match, they looked fantastic. This upcoming match is going to be really interesting to see if they're actually up to the level.
Yeah, so far, the doubters, where are they? I can't hear them anymore. There were a lot of them, a lot of doubters against Sentinels, and they kind of blew Sentinels out the water. I mean, maybe that's an exaggeration, but it was one-sided enough where you're coming away thinking, oh, okay, these guys are still legit. Any questions around QCK? Now, obviously, early days, I'm not going to jump out the window and like, he's the next Aspas. But like, obviously, they have done serious work integrating him into this roster, making him look better than ever. He's been a mainstay in that upper echelon of the Brazilian scene, but it never broken through internationally. Never broke through on the top team in Brazil. Played a number of roles, and this is his opportunity to do just that. And so far, good start.
I think the main thing that he showed, and Sadak talked a lot about this in the offseason, is he's not going to be an Aspas replacement, but what he is going to bring is a lot of flexibility, a lot of experience. And I think you saw that, right? We saw 2 maps from Loud, and we saw him play Raze, we saw him Op, and we saw him play Phoenix. He's filling in that duelist spot, but he's also bringing a lot more to the team than just, you know, the firepower.
Yeah, at times it felt like it was hard to get out of Sadak what he was really trying to do with this team. But one thing he often says, because the Aspas question always comes up, he says, we're not looking for a superstar. We never were, actually. We're looking for an individual player because he wants a team that is kind of more than the sum of its parts, right? He wants someone who can mold, but someone who can also fill so many of those different roles. So they come to the stage on that topic with a whole new composition for Ascent, and they're trying a bunch of different stuff. They have the Viper on Ascent as well, which is really spicy, but, you know, the Phoenix is obviously a standout pick there.
Yeah, this was actually so nice, I think, from Loud. We saw them experiment with some Viper stuff in the past, but the way that they're bringing so many flashes to this comp just adds an extra element where you can take some extra space. You can throw a lot of feints with the Phoenix Soul. You saw them do that quite a number of times, and you can really catch people off by surprise by just dropping the Viper while flashing through, and you have Cauãzinho, you have QCK, all these guys who can frag just in your face.
Yeah, absolutely. Cauãzinho, of course, a top 5 player of week 1. No debate there, right, Paul? But bringing out that breach on Ascent, unusual pick, played it to perfection. So much great setup going on for QCK with that. And also just Loud, thanks. You know what I mean? Just thanks for bringing something different to Ascent for the first time since, I don't know, 2004?
It's in the chat. I'm watching a replay because they obviously take directly from the players' POVs, and someone in Sentinels is on the chat like, holy crap, this utility. Like, there is too much to deal with. Even these Viper walls we actually saw less set up on both sides defensively. You had to pass through them twice to basically get to the site. So we got that innovation, didn't so much get that in the earlier game, but at least it sets a tone for what we can expect from this kind of matchup. Even like these, I mean, there's a 1v4, Les wins a 1v4 in the pistol right at the start of Ascent with this ridiculous like a molly lineup and ends up being able to win it out there. And that's that surprise factor. It was very clear that Sentinels weren't ready for it over the course of that entire series.
Yeah. Ascent, Les's playground, but that was the map that Lev banned last week. So they might not even get a chance to show this off again.
Yeah, I'm really curious, actually, about the maps, given that we saw 3 from Leviatán, whereas Loud, we only saw the 2, right, the Split and the Ascent. And that's something that, you know, when you're experimenting so much, like you might be, if you're Sadak, if you're this Loud squad, you end up running into issues with depth, right, with the amount of maps that you can actually cover. And they worked hard in the offseason. I think that's very clear right off rip, but going through a 7-map pool and actually fighting off against opponents who are going to start to take advantage of the map pool, start looking at your VODs, and getting down to something that might be uncomfortable is the scary part. And we need to see that answered today.
One thing we saw was really difficult for NRG at times in their previous ascent map was like their retake scenario, right? But it seems like every time that came up over both maps, this team really had it on lock. I mean, Kamanzin, of course, on their breach looked fantastic over the course of the series, but every time we saw Loud play off the site, they're able to come back in with this flood of utility and just punish.
Yeah, when you just have this much utility, it's just big exec utility, wall to wall. Retakes, site hits, you're going to expect them to just have every single crevice on the site covered by something, every sight line cut off.
Yeah, this flood that they're able to do is insane, and they did it frequently. Here's the flashing that I was talking about with this Viper wall, the stuff that they're able to do, just like push out into this. Everybody's confused. Zekin's stuck, not able to do anything right now. There's so much that they're interrupting, and I think you mentioned the chat comments and the stuff that Sentinels was feeling in that. There's definitely some pressure getting put up against them.
And that, again, this is a team that is innovating, has innovated before in the past, whether it's a roster or setups like that. That's something worth looking forward to. I think we speculated a little bit, I think, watching the show and also in here on the desk about what the Phoenix was actually for. So, of course, we managed to make sure we caught up with 2Es to fire off some questions and try and understand why the Phoenix.
Mano, Matias é um cara muito louco, tem muitas ideias malucas, mas tem porém por trás, mas eu não vou falar, mas é uma estratégia muito bem pensada.
Sonic is a very crazy guy. That's what I get from that.
I mean, he still wouldn't tell us what it was for, even though they just played it, right?
There's a reason. Loud is being very cryptic, I gotta say, with all the stuff in the offseason.
It just came to mind, but Boaster said something earlier after his game in EMEA about how they're just running basically the same things. And he was like, people are going to run these crazy things one time, and then how much depth is there? You can just counter it if you're going to be better with the standard thing and keep it moving. So, that's an aspect to the game, too. If we do happen to go to Ascent, Lev, they could just be prepped for it. They could just shut it down.
Yeah, they just VOD reviewed. Anti-stratted it. Leviatán, though? You're last year.
No, surely it's different this year, Ball. Surely.
Let's talk a little bit about Kamanzin for a moment. We had him on like top 5 players of the week because we all got submitted a list, and I sort of threw mine in there because there were times where QCK wasn't even trying to be a headliner necessarily. We saw Split first, right? Breach pretty acceptable there. We see it quite often. Seeing it on Ascent, though, pretty big deal. Not only big setups here from Kamanzin, but also a really strong individual showing.
Yeah, I think Kamanzin is always the guy who's going to hit the shots that you need him to, and I think we saw that. There's so many fantastic spray downs from him. I think I was more impressed by the utility that he's putting out, right? He's not playing that info initiator anymore with that breach that he's putting out, but that was a role that Sadek was playing actually last year when they did try to bring those breach comps out at Champ. So to see Kamanzin be able to fit into that and really set up his team well is impressive, despite the Silva being kind of the same thing.
And at the beginning of last year, Loud were the team that was actually pioneering the meta, bringing in the Harbor early on. And now when we're addressing the meta this year, what we were talking about earlier with the Sky not actually being as good, but teams got so much practice with it, do we really want to switch off of it for the kickoff? Loud did on a map where you're always seeing, those types of agents. So,
right? Like on a large scale, they're giving up on it compared to everybody else. We had that conversation a little earlier in the previous match, how teams are sticking with the Sky, whereas Loud is like, no, I think the 2 flashes, not refleshable, is not enough.
I mean, that was exposed in the MIBR Fury match in a huge way, right? Teams lacking that post-plant util. But normally you see Breach paired up with like a Sentinel, right? You play off the information or be able to line up your fault lines and such. But the retakes and the post-plants were huge, with that Breach. I think it was like 5 out of 7 retake wins, 5 out of 8 post-plant wins with this kind of composition. It's just part of that util discussion that we were having so much. So I don't know about you guys, I'm hoping to see a lot more of that in this next matchup. And they're going to need it up against another team who innovated a little bit at times in their matchup against 100 Thieves. Maybe not always successfully. Let's talk about Leviatán. A lot of hype. As a super team, we always get excited when we see these big international rosters built up. But the 100 Thieves pushed them all the way to 3 maps in the end.
Yeah, I think that, you know, you asked the question earlier before we were getting ready for the Cloud9 NRG game, like, oh, Cloud9 struggled against MIBR. Was it MIBR playing well, or was it Cloud9 playing bad? I think that same question would apply here when you're talking about Leviatán and 100 Thieves. I think 100 Thieves played much better than you would have expected. And I would also say that Leviatán played, you know, pretty good. With the amount that is behind this team in terms of expectation, I would say they didn't meet those, obviously. But I still think that the stock should be very high for this team. When there was a little bit of doubt coming in the offseason with the confusion about the roster, with Calm coming in last minute, that sort of thing, I think they did, you know, prove enough to me that, you know, there's not turmoil, that they're going to be able to be one of those top teams that we expect.
Yeah, definitely. For me, if they didn't meet expectations, for me, they fell just barely short of that. I do think 100 Thieves showed up in an excellent way, and we're unfortunately destined to just play 2 maps where it's like, wow, 100 Thieves are a lot better, but they're still going to lose because they're in the group with all of the best teams. And Lev are just one of those teams.
Yes.
They tried an experimental comp on Split, which is a good map for 100 Thieves. It's a map where Austin went crazy, and I'm okay with the result of that. They had a misfire on that map. It'll be interesting if Split is in now, if they're going to run it back with the comp.
You're okay with the 13-3, the Sova and Breach comp on Split?
I mean, it's not that I'm okay with that, but
Well, you kind of said that.
I'm okay with what happened on the other maps.
Yeah.
And I don't, like, if they came into Split with a standard regular comp that they've been playing for God knows how long, and they get blown out of the water by 100 Thieves, that is more, that gives more 100%. Negative credence than they showed up with some crazy new stuff, tried it, failed, but had 2 solid wins on the other maps. So
yeah, but I will say cool the experimentation phase is not very long in Kickoff, right? They did get the win, so that allows them to extend a little bit more, but like you don't have any more chances, right? Yeah. Last year, we talked a lot about Loud experimenting, losing a couple maps here and there. There's no time for that, right? You literally have 2 teams going to Madrid. This is a big, important match, right? You cannot be messing around with Sova on Split trying to make it work if it's not there to that level yet.
One, I guess, player that maybe has covered over, if there's any cohesion issues, maybe that's been smoothed over by the addition of Aspas, right? First map in that series, he almost hits the record for regulation kills. 31 kills, and like, I don't know, 374 ACS. But then in the last map on Icebox, we see a throwback. Aspas locks in the Reina.
That's crazy. I mean, it's not something that he's really ever done other than like off-season matches too. But I mean, to bring back the history, this guy was a ranked demon and he just always played Reina, and that's how he kind of got famous in Brazil in the first place. And I think he's one of the few people, along with like a Demon One, along with a something, who can pull that sort of thing off. And I respect it. I think it's good for them. I think it's a meta that actually makes sense for Reina currently. Not for everybody, but for specific people, and he's one of them.
Yeah, one of the worst narratives of all time was last year when it was like, I don't think Aspas could play anything but Jet.
Oh my God.
Which, one of the worst narratives of all time in the history of VALORANT. I mean,
we've had some bad ones, to be fair.
Terrible narratives. Horrendous narratives. But that's one of the worst. Because, yeah, again, the first map almost breaks the kill record, has 31, only... I mean, this is awful that I was going to say just shy of the record, 32, which is held by Shy. Hate that for me.
Swap?
Despise that. I should get fired, actually, for egregious Van Silly level comedy like that.
Boy, catching strays out in Montreal. He's trying to nurse the baby.
He gets the dad jokes off. Listen, if it's a joke like that, that's a Van Silly joke. Let's be real. Okay. But yeah, no, he can do it all.
He can do it all.
He can play all the duelist agents. He's going to go crazy. Like, come on, guys.
And he is absolutely, without a doubt, one of the best, like the best player in the league. You put Demon One up there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not in our top 5 from last week, but like if you look overall, he's there. And that's the reason why this Leviatán squad is scary as hell. It's because of him. And we saw it last week. We absolutely did. He's just going to take over maps.
Was a late addition to this roster. I think a lot of people try to understand like what his function was supposed to be here. How do you feel about how that sort of panned out? He's known as like a real like lurking player, loves to flank, really cerebral individual.
Clutch.
Has he found his spot on this team yet, do you feel?
I think you're going to need to wait a little longer for the classic calm that we saw last year to come out, clutching constantly, all that sort of thing, consistently map after map. But you will see it, and I think we already saw glimpses of it, right? We had that icebox from him. That was fantastic. That's the sort of thing that we're going to see more regularly, and you're also seeing him bring that signature Sova to maps that are unconventional for it. So I do like them experimenting, like I said, but there's a moment in time where that can come, and I don't think that time is right now, and that's why Calm is not going to be the standout player for Leviatán in this
I mean, he was one of the first to bring Sova onto Fracture, Calm was, right?
Yes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Balla, for sure. Rather, let me rephrase. I appreciate that Lev are giving him space to breathe.
I disagree with you.
No, let me rephrase. I hate everything you just said. I appreciate that Lev didn't just bring him in and they went, all right, do whatever Noswar was doing. Okay, cool.
Oh, yes.
They're giving him room to breathe and experiment and actually add to the team what he added to EG, which was innovation on Sova. That's what he's known for. So I appreciate that. But when you're being an innovator, when you're bringing something new into the team, it's not just going to, like, right away, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to be able to figure out who can actually play off of you in the moments of time. You need to figure out everybody's pacing, and I think that's right now something that Leviatán is working on. They have the skill to be able to still be one of the best teams, though, while they're working on that at the same time.
This is such a hotly anticipated matchup, but it's not just because we've got a slight delay on stage that we're going to go this way, but I do want to talk about someone who is actually kind of...
Way to break the third wall.
There's no walls here, okay? It's all us in the same room. Sadak, though, is someone who is starting to cement his status as like a master artisan of teams, maybe one of the GOATs when it comes to leadership here. I mean, he, at some point in that matchup, just decided he was going to win the freaking game. He had like 7 kills in 2 rounds towards the end of the split. Absolutely disgusting performance. This guy looks like he's still in his prime, and he's still primed to take this team all the way.
I honestly would say that his prime hasn't been seen yet with what we're looking at right now. Like, this guy aced again. It's something that you rarely saw throughout the upcoming of Loud in the first 2 years of the team, and he's just doing such ridiculous things. I remember the TP play back at Champs when Loud had the resurgence. Like, it's all Sadak a lot of times, saving them the games, and we saw that again the other game.
When you're watching that, it's hard to believe that there were rumors and rumblings that he might not even be continuing with Loud at some point, and then he just shows up. Not just constructing these teams, bringing them together in terms of the synergy, but showing up individually. This is 2 years in a row where they have had to bring in new players on Loud, a championship contending team, and did it successfully, which is just, you can't give enough props to this guy for what he's done for this franchise now for years.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a monster. But surely you don't believe the rumors of Sadak, like the retiring rumors. That was crazy.
I would never believe a rumor.
not so easily swayed, this guy.
I'd never read a 3 upvote Reddit comment and believe it. Never me.
All right, well, we are working to resolve some issues on the stage at the moment. So check out this new installment of Profiles, where we get meta and ask some of your favourite players to reveal their favourite players.
Which America's player am I a fan of?
Eu acho que eu sou muito fã do Twist. Asuna, siempre miraba sus streams porque me gustaba su forma de jugar y su actitud como tenía de jugador, que era como muy eléctrico.
Honestly, Ethan had a pretty big part in EG's success, and now he's coming into our team.
Ethan, the best support player in the world.
Ethan, he plays situations so fundamentally correct, and he rarely makes mistakes.
Respect all my EG teammates, probably the most.
Jogimo started from the bottom, and he became the world champion.
Probably like Oxy. He's just like a crazy kid. I mean, he's from Houston too, so like, you know, same connections and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool to see him coming up as well.
I'm a fan of Oxy.
Tens, of course. I've been Tens fan since the beginning of time.
I'll just say Senzelsis. Just nothing really to hate about him.
Probably Sadhak. And Boostio is getting up there. Sadhak is number 1, but Boostio is slowly climbing.
Soy fan de Mimi.
Soy fan de mí mismo, soy muy bueno.
Quartzin é jogador que eu conheci também esse ano, praticamente. É a primeira vez que eu jogo com ele. É um moleque novo e que eu tô realmente sentindo que ele é diferenciado. Eu acho que ele vai surpreender muita gente, igual ele me surpreendeu agora nesse começo também, nessa entrada junto comigo no MBR.
Aspas, obviously.
Aspas?
Aspas, porque quando jugaba contra él en Prax era terrible.
O Aspas, porque ele é referência assim para não só os duelistas do Brasil, mas eu acho que do mundo inteiro.
I'm a fan of Aspas. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just different.
Saci, que já foi meu teammate também e eu gosto bastante dele.
All right, everybody, tell us who you think is going to win this matchup. Spam chat with LEV, of course, Lev or Loud, and let us know. I won't be squinting too hard to look at those results, and I won't be calling any particular numbers prematurely here. But we should probably talk about it as well, because that's kind of... I didn't really try and draw that out of you two here. We shared pretty equitable approaches to both these teams. Leviatán, to me, there's a sense where a little bit of a slip up there on split, but it didn't seem to bother you too much, Wyatt. How do you think they're positioned here? What is your prediction going?
Do you want me to get the whiteboard?
Actually, yes.
Okay, I will get the whiteboard.
Oh, have you done it in advance?
Yes.
Love that. Love that from you.
So me personally, my friendship with NRG
It's
has
a
ended.
dry erase, brother.
It's fine. My friendship has ended. Loud are my new best friend. I'm going to be going with Loud. As per what we had discussed with some of the comm integrating into the team, what Lev are trying to do, perhaps not having as much time as Loud, who look so well refined with this roster. I'm going with Loud.
I am also going with Loud. And I think the reason for it is that when I saw them play in that first match, everything I saw, they were really pushing the fundamentals, and I think that's something that they worked on a lot at the beginning of the year last year. And then on top of that, both maps came back in that series. They had to fight some aggression from the other side, and it looked rough for them, but they still showed resilience, and I think that's very important, something that other top teams are not having to show you.
You guys are feeling like they're looking well-rounded. Leviatán maybe a slight stumble, but I am with them today because their player card in their capsule is absolutely goated. Our coaches are ready for picks and bans. Let's see where we're headed.
And here we are once again, map pick and ban for match number 2, kickoff day number 5. Lev and Loud. Lev, you guys won that coin flip, so you get to ban the first map.
We ban Sunset.
Banning Sunset as the first map. Loud, how do you respond with your ban?
Breeze.
Breeze. Taking that out of the pool. Lev, you get your pick.
We pick Bind.
Bind, first pick for Lev. Loud, what side would you like?
Defense.
Defense. All right. Loud, now you get to pick in response.
Split.
Taking that second map to split. Lev, what do you want for that side?
We attack.
That's going to be attack on split for Lev, and you get to ban.
We ban Lotus.
Lotus for one of the bans. Where do you want to take us?
We ban Icebox.
Loud bans Icebox. That's going to leave Ascent as our final map. Lev, what would you like for the side?
We play defense.
That is defense. And that's going to conclude our map pick and ban. Thank you two. Have a great series.
Good luck, guys.
Welcome, bienvenidos, bienvenidos, le decimos a la escuadra de toda América, con ustedes, Leviatán.
E agora tem as boas-vindas aos atuais campeões das Américas. Façam barulho pra Loud!
Remember, you can rep your favorite squad with VCT capsules. Half of the profits go to the teams. And my God, the Leviatán one looks so good. My goodness, it's nice. Oh my days, it's nice. Okay.
Sorry, listen. I guess the check cleared this morning. We get it, Mitch. It's cool. Oh my God, the loud one's cool too.
It's very anime. That's all I will say. All right, look. Bind comes up first in the map pool here. Leviatán, we saw this one against 100 Thieves. They played that Viper Harbor composition with these really aggressive pops towards B long to try and condition 100 Thieves early. So we have some expectations based on that already, Butler.
Yeah, and I'm actually very surprised well, obviously you're not going to you have your permabans for Loud in this case, but it's very surprising to see Bind first for them, given that this is Aspas's playground, and they know that. This was their teammate. This is their teammate that helped them dominate this map for so long. So we're seeing this off rip, and I mean, you've got to be ready for Loud. You've got to be ready for Aspas.
Yeah, absolutely. Loud, they love innovating on this map. I remember last year,
Here it is again.
They randomly brought out the chamber. They've done a lot of stuff on this map. And yeah, here we go. I mean, Aspas and Reyes, Texas on. We got the Gecko. We have 27 controllers on that lineup, so they're good to go.
Yeah, this is a very unique comp coming out, one that definitely fits the meta right now, and Loud is going to have a response. Let's see what they end up running. They're running Phoenix Breach KO, very similar to what they run on Ascent, and we're seeing Ascent as third map potentially, so we already talked about the valuable aspects of that comp on Ascent. You're going to see exactly that on this map as well.
It may end up being a pretty effective counter to the controllers on the side of Lev, especially when you're in those post-plant situations. It'll allow them to get through the harbor wall, get through all those smokes.
Well, everybody, it's time to head back down to the stage once more to your casters. You know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's Breton and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I mean, you're hitting on all the right notes then. Yeah, I mean, some things do say the same. We've got mustaches now, that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
That's changed. Yeah, but a matchup that you guys have been setting up to great success, honestly. We're looking at Sadak. He had a big smile on his face. He's here to put down the plucky upstart, his former teammate, a former compatriot on the opposite side, who's now playing for Lev, an absolute demon in the making. I mean, we've always known he's a demon, right? Yeah. We've always known he's been good. And he certainly was in a 100 Thieves match, but we'll see if he can do it again here against his former team.
Now, Loud have never lost against one of the turncoats. If it was Sassy and Pancada on Sentinels, they didn't lose. If it was Bazooka after he left as being a coach, never lost to him. Now they're up against Aspas. Can they keep that winning streak against the traitors of Loud alive? Especially going up against the final boss.
That's the question. Let's get things started here. Bind our opening map with the pistol round. Nothing explosive off the rip. Nice and tepid. That's the approach. Just baiting and waiting for Lev. They're seeing if they can get a response out of Lau, but they're also just holding. Kawazin was at the fault line ready for some sort of flash play down onto long. QCK with a jiggle peek gets acknowledgement, at least with the shots fired. So we know there's some info there. And there's the re-peek with the stun, trying to catch that timing.
And that just allows them to maintain information.
Okay. Yep.
That's how it's going to be, huh?
Try and replace me, huh?
Unbelievable. I mean, what a way to begin. Aspas just ripping off QCK's head. That wasn't even a duel. QCK had his knife out. He's just trying to get some information.
Wasn't a fair fight.
None of them are against Aspas. And Loud, and they're going to learn that very quickly.
Here's the group up. Now, Sadek's border shorty. He's holding himself there into lamps. We'll see, though. Everybody now trying to get a move on here with the flash. Set it up. Cove round the corner. Sadek. Nade. Pushing him back. Exchanging the util so he can still hold on to this ground and get set back up despite the stun.
30 seconds
Can
left.
hold his ground. The plant. Tap. Seems they can force out the util. And here comes the phase. 3 players. And they have been eviscerated.
The Kalat.
Still. Control is theirs, 3 versus 3, and the plant's still not down with 15 seconds left, seeking to deny. It's a bit of raw spam and damage being done, but still evened out wide. That's less now doubled up. 1 player alone, it's all King, almost with the kill. The wall up for the reposition. Now backing to the side, the tap. Doesn't force him out wide, King! This might be absolutely brilliant! And it is!
What an incredible start from Leviatán. Aspas to open it up, King to finish it. And King had a really rough beginning to this year's version of games. He came into that opening match against 100 Thieves, and I've never seen such a poor performance from him. And now instantly to start up against Loud. Grabbing 3 and winning a 1v2. Disappointment written on Sadek's face. King is normally such a beast of a player. And I was wondering, with him calling now in English, maybe it was going to get a bit more difficult. Maybe we would see King not have those insane performances, but you can't read too much into just one performance. King's already trying to rewrite his opening to 2024.
Yeah, what a beginning. You are right, you know, it's got that added stress, I suppose, of now you're communicating, like trying to IGL in a different language, brand new team environment. I mean, you don't really have any of the pre-existing core other than you and Mazzino.
Now, Les has taken a timing here past King. We've seen so many of these eco rounds converted. Ooh. The teams with guns have to be really careful not to fall into some kind of trap. And there are 4 players here on B.
Gamble stack, not really too grouped together though. I mean, it's not like they're holding for hard control of B long or hookah.
They can actually go through the teleporter as well if they realize that this is a stack, because King has the entirety of A.
Will send flying with a knife to mollies. Yet they don't like what they see or hear. Ready for the TP, and like you said, it's that prior space that King has gained and granted. Will be an easy plant on the eco.
They won't necessarily expect Les to be on the flank this early, but they will still have to watch short.
Nice flash play, bit of damage there onto Aspas. He's got to really respect this one. Now backing with the rest of his team. No way, no way!
Unbelievable.
Loud really going to be getting away with this with the classics.
It's unbelievable.
In through the cove. Mazzino seeking to hunt them down. Damage. Players are low here. Surely QCK and 2 years can't do it. They would have to just do the improbable. Picking up an upgrade with the rifle in 2 years. His hands are tapped. Baiting it. Here's the swing from Tex, and he does claim the 1 kill. QCK, surely not yet. Does not have enough health to contest. Tangle with them.
Close though, certainly close, but nicely navigated by Leviatán. Looking at Tex with that Gecko ult online, that offers them plenty of opportunities to try and get in onto Loud. If you look at Loud's composition, which, I mean, this now is not looking just like it was a comp for Ascent. This is now looking like something maybe that, you know, they're pioneering, almost like the Harbor Viper from last year. But this compositional idea seems really good at being able to deny the plant on A. And I think Tex having this Gecko ult online should push the Loud players back and allow them a bit of an easier time of it.
The rifles are in the hands now of the Loud players. Nice molly to break this one, but does he anticipate 4 players grouped up less? For sure respect there. Harbor wall up. Now the Gecko, like you said, Thrash, Cove to try and prevent it being spammed down and broken. It's hopping all over the bloody place. Flash through.
But this is just space, right? And this actually allows them to be able to get the plant down without Loud spamming mollies at them. That's a win.
So there we go. Set themselves up into the post plant now. An important fight to be taking place. Am's control needs to be held this entire time. It's Com's job.
There is so much utility for this retake.
Mollies.
So many flashes.
Wall fades away. They didn't expect Sadek to be up onto that angle to fight that quickly. Spam again through the box. Can they take the fight together? Yes. Weaving in and out. The timings are definitely there for them. But Loud, they've got that extra firepower with the weaponry, with the rifles. Maybe enough to sail them away to a victory, and indeed it is. No real danger there. let them get the plant down and all. You know, Josh, you were theorizing, we were both talking about it, kind of the amount of mollies and plant denial that Loud have. It seems like that might have been a part of their game plan, but they had no difficulties getting back into the site there.
No, they didn't. I think Leviatán perhaps should have tried to play deeper into the site and lock them out towards Pipes in Heaven, but even that strategy is going to be difficult when they can just flash back in through smokes. So I think, as we saw in the Loud Sentinels game, Leviatán is going to be scrambling on the fly to come up with answers to this composition. And I'm just starting to kind of put that into your consciousness early, because that's what Lev are going to be thinking right at the start here. Even though they won the pistol and they're technically up, this will give King a little bit of time to ponder further on how he beats this comp.
Yeah.
But I think you look at the way that they retook that round. It's all about the fundamentals that Wyatt was talking about on the desk. If they're playing tight together, they're playing off each other. You see QCK swing in based on someone else playing him into the round. It's really tight and coordinated, considering that, you know, we haven't really seen this team over the offseason. We didn't know what to expect, but they've been in the lab since October. They barely took a break after Champions. They've got that championship mentality for sure.
Relaxed and leaned all the way back. Reminiscent of Aspas, to be honest.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's the Aspas posture.
Yeah, it is. Tech forwards, though, it's a keyboard issue.
I mean, take a look
on
at
the opposite side. They're literally mirrored. I mean, they're in the same spot and everything. But yeah, it's somebody's keyboard. Getting it sorted. I won't call anybody out by names. I did see somebody walking over, though.
Yeah.
The desk. And as soon as we get that sorted and get it confirmed, we can get the game underway. But you're right, they're going to be thinking a lot about how to deal with this composition that Loud has thrown out. I mean, we saw a similar kind of tale being spun, I mean, and it really did play out that way when Loud were playing against Sen, and they pulled it out for the first time on a Sen. We were seeing Sentinels really get tested, how they're adapting on the fly. The same, like you said, it's going to be asked of Lev here.
It's pretty funny. Earlier on today on the EMEA broadcast, Boaster, after his win, was talking about the fact that, yeah, we're not really planning on changing up our comps too much. We think these other teams, when they play the cheese comps, their macro dies and their fundamentals are worse. Now, I'm not sure whether Boaster would really class this as a cheese comp. It seems like Loud are running it on multiple maps, but I think there is a real question, like, when you see this kind of composition get played more on Bind, on Ascent, and you've got more reps, can teams break it down? Will Leviatán have an answer for it? I doubt they'll have been expecting it here on Bind, but they must have looked at it on Ascent and have some idea about the general game plan against it, because, hey, there's a decent chance that Loud play it on map 3 if we end up there. But I think that's a funny comparison between two teams that have been at the top for a significant period of time. One leaning on compositional creativity and trying to lead the meta, and the other just trying to, you know, work on the serious fundamentals. Not the Loud of missing that.
Yeah, they're not missing them, are they, right? I mean,
no.
it's still been the thing powering them through. It's not like you're getting, you know, equivalent firepower, let's say, with QCK coming into the team, but Loud have been making up to it. Like you said, they've been scrimming since October, being well drilled, making sure the team core is all there, they're connected.
Can I give you another funny quote of just, you know, when you're in the off season and you're looking at various different interviews, obviously this storyline of Aspas leaving Loud and going over to Leviatán, that's one of the biggest that we had in the entirety of the off season, along with EG kind of collapsing and losing their championship roster. But when Aspas was interviewed, he said that one of the reasons he moved to Leviatán was he wanted a team that he could win a championship with. And I thought that was an incredible answer, just due to the implication that he didn't believe that Loud were going to
Didn't believe that Loud could do it.
Well, I mean, you know, he didn't say that outright, but that does appear to be the implication. I mean, he also said he was looking for a friendly atmosphere. Read into that what you will. Read into that what you will.
Get TMV on the case.
I don't think Aspas has particularly any heavy rivalry with Loud as a team, and he's got a lot of love for his previous teammates too. But I do think it's interesting that, you know, a lot of questions always get asked about this Loud squad, and yet they are, in my opinion, the most consistent roster of all time. You know, they might not be the greatest roster of all time, but they're the most consistent. They only get beaten by absolute elite caliber teams, barring slip-ups at, like, you know, Copenhagen or Tokyo from last year, but generally speaking, they're extraordinarily consistent. And this Leviatán team is a bit of a gamble. We've never really seen a team like this put together before, where it's combining the best of the Americas, not just North America, the Americas region. And that's such an interesting kind of story to follow about whether or not that's going to be successful.
Normally it takes teams a bit of time to really, get going and click. If you're literally forming a new core, you find that the most teams, they have a bit of a run of success if they've got that pre-existing synergy already set up. And I'm seeing thumbs up. I'm seeing the okay across the board, and I hope we get into the game. And I believe I got confirmation, perhaps. Will we see? Any minute now, I swear. Any minute now. Any minute now.
I believe you. I believe you.
There we go.
We're back.
Okay.
So, we're looking at Loud. With QCK not buying anything, okay, at all. Maybe just in a bit of a fluster coming out of the timeout. But it's a decent economy for both teams, aside from the Phoenix with the classic and no armor.
Yeah. Here we go. Doctor set it up as well. Nade through the back. There's a knife to try and delay along with the nade, but not really going to be stopped from gaining all that space and ground. There's a kill. That's a refight as well, out through showers this entire time, and everybody evacuates. What do you say the other day, Josh? Let's TP my kittens. They want to go straight into the site. It's up to Les to try and do the most in this situation. Round towards the back inside. Eventually cleaned up by Aspas. There's the initial trade. Site will be theirs, but, well, denial of the plan. Yeah, from the orbital strike.
Overkill, perhaps.
Tucked close. That's Aspas. Wait it now. Cut noise. 3 players left standing here for Lev to try and do something about it. 4 players from Loud trying to make their moves across. There it is. Clean up. Finally there, but a wraparound attacks.
Oh, this is rough.
Deletes 2 years. All popped off. It's going to be protected from the side here. Trying to at least run themselves onto the side. Now the all's being popped off. Mazzino stuns across the board. Takes care of that one ult. Now they can reposition and play a little bit differently here. Wall crept up, propped up now against them. And they're going to try and push back against this. It's wars on wars, but nobody looking close to the corner. Kawazine takes him out, 1 versus 1 attack. Baiting with the spam, the damage in his face still. Plenty of time, Mazzino.
Huge in the 1v1 there against Kawazine, a player that was absolutely outrageous in the Love vs Sentinels game in terms of the impact that he was able to put out. But he gets put down there. And Leviatán hold on. An awkward situation in the retake as QCK popped his ultimate and Kawazine just had to watch his back. Lev managed to navigate that, and a nice little push from Tex, then also tucking himself in the corner and avoiding the fault line. These rounds are going to get chaotic as teams navigate the utility on either side. Now we're seeing Lev with a Raze rocket moving their way towards showers. Sadak is going back to that old tried and tested judge. And he just always seems to find value out of it.
Yeah. Opposing side, though, Lev have got some beautiful tools to set up for another round, and it will be a snowball one. It will reset the economy. They win it. Aspas to the showstopper. And they're just crawling up onto the angles. I mean, very little noise being made, a couple of footsteps, but I don't seem wise to it. Flash over the top of the Dizzy. Now the satchels, and here we go. Showstopper. Plays close and forwards. There's a rocket for you. Almost direct hit there. That's regretting that he just peeked out to the side. Sadak still not going to be dealt with here with a boom bot. They heard the judge and they want nothing to do with it.
So this is going to establish Sadak's position in lamps and allow his teammates to play off that.
They're back in there. They spotted Mazzino as well. That's why they're spamming him with the bullets. You have to make an attempt of re-clearing this Mazzino. Close. Does he dare wade in to the nest? Sadak can't really take a timing peeking from this one. He's got to rely on the rest of his teammates to really do something about it. King has just shut it all down from the one side. There was backup in spades. King, this guy, looking monstrous.
Back to prime form. Looking incredible in these kind of moments, navigating things well, and with a player advantage, thanks to Aspas' ultimate, Leviatán come out to a 4-1 lead. This was Lev's pick. This is Aspas' playground. And the whole team is functioning really nicely, managing to pick apart Loud, who looked really tight with each other on the last retake, but here King is able to pick them off one by one as they swing around triple. Loud's economy is going to get broken. I'm sure they'll have an idea at the start of this round. And we're in. Sadak with a Bucky over towards Shaw. He dodged the Dizzy at the start of the round. And one of the problems here, Bren, that I'm noticing with what Loud are doing is that they're lacking information around the map because they're not playing that kind of info initiator. at least outside of the knife from Sadak. And that means that they're not able to stack the right sites. Lev just kind of bullied them away from showers, contacted forwards, and they're really disguising where they're ending. Here, you know, King gets the pick over towards showers. They're moving towards B. QCK's read it fairly well. But Lev are not going to make too much noise, use too much utility, and make it easy for Loud.
That Trailblazer able to clear the entirety of long. It's not the molly now. Second wave of util, but that's going to be running out shortly. Do they still want to commit to this one? Smoke. Dropped TPs, evacuation. Now they don't have showers control. There is one player there. Sadak, close with the Bucky. What can he really do here? This spot really allowing him to get that. Oh, the nade does rebound. Damage, flash, come. It's taking so much. Fando will get off without any problems. Along with the round here, 4 players surviving, so no real danger to the economy being done.
And look, Loud finally get the information about where Leviatán are going. They're heading towards B. They've stacked it with 3 out of 4 of the players alive, and they just go through the teleport. So, at the moment, that seems to be one of the largest issues.
One enemy remaining.
They can't pin them down, and if they overstack to try to defend, then the teleport's happening, and Loud are not aiming to keep control of showers.
Yeah.
Leviatán are putting a serious focus on the outer wings of the map, and it's working really well for them. And you'd think that would be somewhat simple for Loud to deal with, because the breach fault line is so good down B long. I mean, if Leviatán are prioritizing B long control in order to use the teleporter, there are things that Loud can do about it. The flashes are nasty there, the stun and the follow-up. It should be possible to cook up some kind of answer, but you got to know that they're there in order to set up for it. Keep guard and control, those kind of things.
You can have money in the buy for Loud, so alongside that, the ults. Big one being the Viper's Pit. Les got that in the prior round. He was farming up the orb and showers. He went down from just pushing out, but that granted him the ult. So you can use that now to adjust some of these defensive setups if he chooses to use it off the rip. Not too sure, but you've been talking about, you know, that extremity control, just losing it too early. Loud not really fighting over, you know, bathroom be long, but could be a good way to just, you know, manage more people over towards those directions. If you have got a Viper Pit to lock down one of the avenues.
And it looks like Les is trying to do that right at the start of the round over towards B long. Just jiggling her for the moment. Perhaps planning to pop that off noise. Look how quiet these rounds are at the start for Leviatán. Forcing Loud to jiggle peek all over. They're jiggle peeking B long, jiggle peeking over towards showers, trying to get that info about where Lev are pathing. And the dog going down short is not in any way where Lev are headed. And that's another punish on a jump peek for B long.
Yeah, it's the info game. That's what it's all about here. Thrash. Straight deep into the site, sent flying, Kawazine. Got to respect it now, got to back away. Team's not there to help. Aiden a satchel, a bit of whiffage there. Spasto up onto the high ground. This will be a plant going down most likely. Hello. Up top though, maybe a noise cue being heard. Kawazine, he wants to send this one. Rolling Thunder. Players send packing and flying. King is close to the corner here. The spike was dropped down. They want to refight this into the back of the side. King, he's still alive and active. They don't actually know he's there. Dropped to his knees though. Sadak not down for the moment. Still going to be providing the info, calming this to his team. Stun, misses, Thrash, round 2. Sending it back in, trying to help out and bail out the IGL. In through the back of the side. It's only up to Kawazine. He's locked.
One enemy remaining.
Isolated to his own devices. It's the back of the side. He can't do anything. It's a 1v3. No more util. Doubled up into elbow. Steadily turning into an impossible round for Kawazine. You have to absolutely go crazy. The jiggle. Not enough to overpeat. They can hear the footsteps of Tab. Tex taking first contact, but they double up in the end to clean it up. So 6-1. And Josh, I know you want to talk about it, these jump spots, trying to gather the info.
Yeah.
Been punishing them.
They totally have. I mean, the Leviatán players relying on one of the things that this roster was built for, incredible mechanics. Punishing jump peaks like this is not easy. And Aspas and Tex are making it look like it is. I also think that the Battle of King inside Tube, locked in there, but taking the duel against King.
Sorry.
It's almost like a personification of the wider battle of the IGLs that's happening in the match. And King was supported so well by the rest of his team there. Here they're trying to go for a fault line play. If Les gets pressured, there's a fault line for him to swing off.
But it hasn't been working.
No, I mean...
trying to play for the B long control with that stun.
The problem is Leviatán are not hard committing up B long. They're poking and prodding and trying to draw out the reaction from Loud. The jump peek or the flash.
Nice in the TP to cancel that dog out, but really the Trailblazer got a lot of info.
And I think it bears mentioning here at this point, when Leviatán are up 6-1 fairly dominantly, King has never IGL'd his teams to even a map win against Sadax.
Yeah.
He's just lost 2-0, 2-0 the 2 times that they've played against Loud. And this is so much more successful than previous attempts.
They're going to ensure to keep this one going. Tiniest amounts of util being used to just peel out these mollies. Of course, Loud have got the war chest full of them, but they have stacked this side up. There's 4 players waiting here. Could get dangerous despite the fact that they're on the half buy.
Unless is ready to shoot them if they take that teleporter.
30 seconds left.
Might just decide to cancel this one straight into him. We'll see. Wingman down through. See if they can get that spike planted. And a flash play right into the back of the site, cleaning them up. Beautiful call.
One enemy remaining.
It's all over. And Louder stacking the right side with 4 players. And this combo is just utterly deadly. The Gecko in the sky, it's so difficult to get around. I love what Leviatán have cooked up here. Woo. It's so solid.
Yeah.
You can see Loud trying to adapt to it, trying to hold on. But the fight for backside is really powerful. And if Loud give up backside control, trying to get back in is still going to be difficult. It's going to bleed them out of utility. There's no easy answer here. And Loud are losing all of the map control battles. Take a look at that. Just a flash through. They've got flash dizzy combos. They can just go for a pop flash. So many different ways of fighting. Loud are scrambling for an answer here.
Looks like their solution might be that deep push out through A short. 5 players though have left. Everyone through showers. Up to the corner by Aspas, just momentarily playing that anti-flash. Here's the ult now, offloaded, sent flying. Mollies to try and at least delay, buy them a bit of time. The nades might be enough. No, that's just spam up into heaven. They've taken out Kawazine, Sadak. Back against the wall. Hello. Lovely shot. The trouble with everybody grouped up into showers, you just give them free reign and space through A short. The call has to be the cancel here for Lev.
Incredible awareness of the wallbang angles from Sadak, who's doing tiny bits of chunking damage to them. And this is one of the first times, actually, that Leviatán have been stalled out from going for their hit. They don't have an option over towards B. They don't know if somebody's pushed. No Sentinel in this comp to watch the flank. So this is going to be an extraordinarily slow re-clear.
Now walking through cave.
The time is ticking. There's 35 seconds. But for Loud, it is quite difficult to know where have Lev gone.
30 seconds left.
Are they re-clearing short? Are they going for a re-hit?
That's the trouble. Oh, they are. Walk their way over back towards A. Now, they didn't rotate off because of the prior knife that tagged onto left. Here we go. Explosive. Any other tools to try and delay the plant here could be absolutely essential. Gone for the plant. Pit laid down on top of this one. Will it be the spam kill? Nothing claimed, so the spike's planted. But the pit's still up to it. Makes this one really difficult to try and get themselves through. Aspas! Oh, it's filthy stuff. Filthy stuff indeed. Less though. Not willing to go down without a fight. That's control for him. Nade bounce back. Sadak gaining the rifle. Just needs a few stray bullets here, but King just walks straight into the back of the side. Wide here. Reload, but there's the wraparound of Mazino.
Even those fundamentals are falling apart now for Loud. The way that QCK and Kawazine, or QCK and Tuiz, I think it was actually, took the fight there with each other. Delayed, you know, slowly going through the harbor wall, not both at the same time. Loud have been put under a serious amount of pressure, and they cannot find the answer. There was about 15 seconds left for this plant to go down. They didn't have any utility to deny the plant, and the pit made it so devastatingly difficult to get back in.
Let's go, guys.
This is dominance from Lev.
This is huge. This is super team performance shutting down Loud right now. This is not Aspas running around the map carrying them.
No.
If that was your concern with Lev against 100 Thieves, this should start to put that to bed. Aspas is playing great, absolutely. We saw a 2K from him in the prior round. But this is them outmaneuvering Loud, playing to the weaknesses of this comp. King is here holding a push. No flashes for QCK.
No, it's going to be a late push from King, I think, when his team gets through into A short. It is the bargain bin by from Loud. They're really working with little to nothing. Molly, and no one player there. Out towards it, into showers, 2 years. Landing, nailing these shots. He's run out of bullets, and there's the backstab. Applied by King. Safe pair of hands, 3 of them. Left standing here onto Loud, less. That's through the TP as well. Makes a bit of a surprise exit there, and with the kill as well. Another one! Loud! Sheer force just overwhelming the players onto the site. Leave it just down to Com. 1 versus 3. A tap, baits it out with the spray. Wall finally down. Players are low here. This is entirely winnable. For Com, entirely winnable. The Sadak. Oh, it is in your face to the judge.
And it's incredible that the round that Loud win is mostly due to the fact that Les solo decides, I'm actually just going to run through the teleporter and 1v2 these guys in showers. I feel like sometimes we have seen that from Loud in the past, where Les just decides, right, the game plan's not winning, I am just going to force these fights and win by virtue of my superior skill. But that doesn't bode particularly well, because at that point you have kind of admitted that the game plan's not working. And Loud, they've only managed to get their 2nd round on the board. Tex with another huge ultimate to work with, and yeah, Loud have got their own. They haven't been able to convert them into any level of success. The calling from King and then Com as the secondary is just running rings around Loud right now with this slow pace to the game, choking Loud out.
Oh yeah! Monster
Interesting position being played here. Thrash. And through B.
Look at the positioning of QCK and Spawn. He's just playing rotate, trying to help the rest of his team with the Phoenix ultimate. And this is all a feint. None of this is real pressure.
Just to pull the players over, and guess what? A short control is gained. Sanak holds off, nade laid down, so he can still hold on at least to a bit of a semblance of Lamp's control, but he does give it up towards the back of the side of the rest of his team. Smokes, dropped and partitioned.
And now, as they rotate, Kawazine is going to hear all of this. Can he get in the corner in time?
Kawazine, the off angle.
He's going to get
monumental. Dizzy broken, but you're right. The clearance was there. Mazzino, far left flank, able to assist for the rest of his team now. 4 versus 4, and there's still 50 seconds left. Everything has just been rapid, rapid, rapid.
And look, Loud have no idea where Lev are going. They're in spawn right now. They don't know if this is going to be a reaction to the teleporter, moving back over to short, committing to B. They just want to try to get back in with QCK's ult.
Oh, not again! Oh, brutal. Oh, what a strike though to deny the plans. Still time though. 25 seconds left. That's all the key for Lev here. Pulling out that key utility finally now into the post plant. Already flashed through. QCK forwards is the approach. Run it back. Plenty of targets, but only the one removed. But now he's got a second chance, a second lease of life to flank. Sadak
distracting.
All the way behind. Running and gunning, it reigns supreme. The battle of the IGLs, it's all being traded. Has to be heroics. Aspas can't stand up to the challenge.
And Loud finally managed to pull 2 rounds together in a row. This one because they're able to get that flank off. Kawazine and Sadak both deciding to push on defense. Find those solo timings. If Leviatán are going to group up and try to ping pong from side to side, Kawazine's going to get a bit of value, a bit of information, and then Sadak the same.
30 seconds left.
After Leviatán committed to B. Even if this half ends 8-4, even if Loud pulls out 3 in a row at the end, is that anywhere near enough? You can't count Loud out, but it would be at a massive disadvantage.
Looks entirely Lev's game to wrap up. Nice pretty bow, at least for the map. Aspas another ult earned. Deep flash. No real noise cues gained from this one. Here's the Seekers. Dodging of the knife.
But look, Loud are doing the push again.
They want to try and fight this one. I mean, yes, they're pushing out into the back of the side. They're on it. Of course it finds his mark. Aspas, though, eventually shut down. You're right, Josh. There is that flank attempt to push coming through round to the back. That's 2 years. Here in the reload is so damn early, they're not expecting it. Double face, 2 years. Too easy.
No charges.
Spike out in the middle of nowhere. Here's that discipline being instilled now into Loud. They slow it down. Don't want to overstep themselves. It's King Mazzino versus the world.
Carrying Spike.
Plant sticking. Really does isolate King into that. It's a solo player. He will fall. Oh, popped off. Can it be doable? Mazzino. Maybe set up for these fights as well, but the stun's just being littered. Yeah, he's pushed off. Kawazin already. And a stun missed entirely. Oh, what a clutch.
Incredible play from Mazzino there to finish out the half. He gets his ultimate with the plant. King throws his body on the line, and the swing timings could not be more perfect, exactly as the first bolt of the stun is coming through. It's Aspas again to open it up. But Mazzino makes himself known, and every player on Lev has found their moment in this half.
Yeah. Beautiful ending to the round. That sets them up for the 9-3. Magical beginning here for Lev. Let's send it down to the desk for them to break it down so far.
Thank you very much, Brent. Heartbreak at the end of that round. Kawazin is a different idea. They're not double facing. He tries to set up a fault line and it all goes wrong. And that's in keeping with how much of that first half went for Leviatán. My God, they come out of the gate so strong, Bala. First 8 rounds, they plant every round. They win 7 out of 8 post plants. This setup, this util-heavy setup, is brutal.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because I didn't really expect that they would be able to get as much as they got, given how many Flashes are able to disrupt whatever executes they throw out. They're getting whatever they want.
Yeah, I thought that Loud would be able to do a much better job of retaking as well, having all the flashes to come back in after a lot of those initial smokes are placed, and then, you know, be able to come back through, whether it be, you know, through the harbor wall, the Viper wall, something along those lines. That just did not pan out at all.
And look at stuff like this, right? Flashing through the wall, like being able to use the Seekers for information, the patience that they have on some of those executes. They're able to do that on both sides. A lot of times on that A side, it was working flawlessly. And yeah, I mean, heartbreak at the end causes this to be a really dominant game for Leviatán. Probably one of the most dominant games we've seen at Kickoff so far.
I mean, so dominant so that Loud's worst loss in history is a 13-3, which they, you know, could be on route to right now, and coincidentally, it was against EG with Comp, so...
This mid-rounding from Kin looks really good, but Bala, you're watching Aspas play, and you feel like he probably has a stake in the calling structure at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the decisiveness that you saw with some of those results, for example, his satchel paths that he was taking, I think a lot of times he's seeing an opportunity, he's seeing a timing, and he's going for it. And I think it's not necessarily a given, but when you see those moments, you think, okay, he's a guy that's key in the decision structure right now.
Silky smooth movement, nasty mechanics. Aspas is icy right now. Let's head back to our casters for the second half of Bind.
Yeah, it's going to be an important one for the pistol for Loud to stand a chance in this one. You've got to imagine, I mean, 9-3. Yeah, we don't really know how Loud's comp is going to work out on their attack side, but what a hell of a hill to climb to try and get back into the map.
And if you think about how Loud's composition worked on Ascent, it took map control and then tried to execute with huge amounts of pressure onto the players anchoring. That sometimes on Bind isn't the greatest way to play because it makes it kind of easy for the defenders to figure out where you're going and what you're doing. It's good to see that QCK's thinking about the future. They're assuming they're not going to get 13-3'd.
Yeah, farm up the orbs, try and get the ult online. 13-3, I mean, Wire was bringing it up as well. That's one of the most brutal maps that Loud have ever lost. Even mentioned it was against Com, it was EG. Seeking to dish it out again.
Is that the series where they came back and smoked them 13-0?
Yeah, it was, I think, yeah.
They can dish it back out.
Yeah, they really can. Here we go, Smoke's dropped. Laid at the feet, what a shot by QCK. Texas be thinking twice about that one. It's a bit of a weird one there. Fight into Lamps. King removed. Aspas. Oh boy, chase down and jump peek with the right click. Brutal in every single sense of the word. Corn flash a little bit too deep here. Does not find the mark. Flawless round here for Loud.
Featuring Master Shifu sitting down Thailand. Gave him the business there, didn't he? So Loud absolutely needed that one. It was imperative that they got it on the board. And they're going to have so many ults starting to cycle up. If they can convert this, start to farm up the Phoenix ult, look good about it on their attack side, there are chances that they can build some kind of snowball that turns into an avalanche. They spot Aspas on the cross. There are so many Leviatán players here.
He's got to evacuate, yeah, he's got a TP.
Not that that's really a problem. Look how many other people are around.
Stun into the corner. There's a flash player trying to fight this one. Loud. Stand their ground, rooted into the spot. Almost getting away with it, though. Still alive.
They're worried. They don't know exactly how many other players are here. Mazzino, of course, could still be on B, as far as Laudo are aware.
Play by Kawazine. Walking through, spotting it by Comp. Attempt to just re-peek back out, get some of that information. So it should be a clean cut round. All for Loud here with the plan online.
Because QCK ended up falling, though, they're not looking to try to farm up the Phoenix Cell. Not going to quite have that one online, as far as I'm aware. So a lot of this is about the ult cycling, and I think it's pretty important, actually, for Leviatán to just go down to Spike here.
Yeah.
You don't want to start building up these huge ultimates that the Loud composition is going to have access to.
Where's Aspas off to?
Perhaps seeing if he can get an exit over towards Hookah.
Does he really want to be saving the Sheriff?
I wouldn't imagine so, but he's got a little bit of time to sneak back in.
Sure, might be able to get the one here. It's just less.
Here. One enemy remaining.
Okay, there is the one.
Mazzino goes down to Spike. This next round is going to be absolutely crucial. Les didn't buy, so he's going to be able to afford to bring a rifle into the round. They already have a rifle and 2 bulldogs, and they're 1 orb away from Phoenix Cell. This is what I'm talking about. The potential is there for Loud to take this round and start an ult cycle that can really push this momentum forwards for them. Leviatán would love to take this one. Go up 10-5, keep things clean, calm, under control.
Stunt that momentum. You don't want to let a team like Loud get going.
Aspas goes for the cross again over towards the teleporter on B.
Jiggle. My king, lucky. It was a bit of a pre-fire attempt. Aspas did get the cross, so here he is. Slide off angle. Is that to bait them to push up into Aspas?
I think it is.
Yeah, the dog through showers.
A lot of times the attacking teams are going to try and punish the Sky for that, and Aspas is just ready and waiting.
They're not expecting it. Holy!
What a reaction from
QCK! He's rapid with it! Instantaneous! The fight being taken to him. King now, trapped forwards, but there's that ult. He's only just taken him out, and there's a second go of things once more spammed. In through the tube, flash into the corner. Pushing back, trying to fight them tooth and nail, but the players are corralled and cornered of Lev in through Albo. Didn't we say it at the start of this round? You don't want to let a team like Loud get going, that momentum. But they've done it now. Maybe Mazzino could do something, but have to get plenty more after that. Sadak falling. At some point, you've got to call it, unless you find another pickoff. Has to be the save here for Lev, so...
Stun there's a little dangerous too. Mazzino might not find it too easy to get out with his life. He's got the cove.
Yeah, doesn't choose to use it.
Takes the more dangerous option, but he gets out with his life. Leviatán will at least have 2 rifles into the next, but their economy's going to be in a really unusual spot. Whenever you save in these kind of situations, Tex and Mazzino are going to be hurting for money and wanting to save the rifles again next time. Loud are doing the same kind of stuff they did on Ascent. They're not trying to play the map, ping-pong from side to side, make a crucial mid-round call. They take an area of the map, they exec. Good luck stopping them. That's basically the game plan with this composition, right? It's looked
so well
really
drilled.
tough. I mean, that swing from QCK is so fast. Bullets start flying at Kawazine, and he's like the Secret Service. Leaps in front of them and takes
right
out...
there.
Toxins going up.
Yeah, he just did not care.
It was wild.
Something to prove, though, I think. Playing like it.
Here.
And yeah, everyone holding hands up through short walls, go down, seeking to find a player, just walking and wading straight across here. Now, there's always the danger of the stack here, so we could buy Lev, but still, not being removed from the back of the side. Plan of Kawazine. Nothing to delay, nothing to deny. Long-range artillery to util. That's send flying. Dizzy dealt with. All up now in their faces.
These are not super comfortable positions for Loud.
Actually forced them forwards a little bit here. Hex using this one. No, Wingman taken out. There's the removal. Kawazine spamming through and out, but no one else really tapping to force the fight towards them.
Not much time, Bren.
Yep, another tap. Not much time. Out into the open.
Com is destined to go down to this one. He's got no chance. Can he get through the TP? No.
Nice attempt.
But that's the rifle's gone. And now this eco round powers up Loud's ult cycle. Right? That gets Sadak's ult online. This round is also probably going to get Kawanzine's ult online.
Yeah.
And this all stems back to allowing them to win the bonus. Now suddenly this looks like they're back into the game.
Definitely does. I mean, Lev are going to be able to scrape together a buy roughly. The loser's bonus racking up. House money, if you will. So it won't be too easy for Loud. It's not going to be like the equivalent of eco kills coming into them, but finding their way back into the map. Slow as it goes, there's a stun to clear into Hookah. QCK. It's raining down into the wall just to see if he could tag him onto a player playing that common angle.
Again, so much focus onto B. Whenever they've got rifles online.
Powerless.
That seems very early.
All popped off for Sadak. This one flying here, the TP attempt. Kawazine, he's all the way in. Wow, what a way to pave the entrance for the rest of your team to get the hell in there. Sight planted towards the back of it, actually. They're going to be trying to flip this one on its head here for Lev, knowing that Hookah is compromised. Cove deep. Mazzino surely he's not going to be able to get that. Is a nasty peek.
Right before the Cove deploys.
Still going to contend and tackle a lot of these players. Flash underhanded over the top. Mosh pit now they're all in thunder. Something to deny and delay. Pushing them away. Aftershock. You just cannot walk in to the site. It's all in Loud's control. Feeling like they might want to go. Yeah, they want to try and make a go of this one, but you just got to save again. Walk away.
It's unbelievable the amount of utility that Loud has. Sadak got crunched in Hookah, and he turned around, threw a fragment grenade, and suddenly Leviatán can't do anything about it. And then Lev are trying to get on the retake. Kawazine stuns, aftershocks. You can't do anything about it. They're getting blocked off at every turn. And another fabulous entry from Kawazine too. A timeout. Absolutely required from Leviatán. It feels like every rifle round has just ended B for Loud. And how do you get back in on these kind of sites? B on bind is notoriously difficult to retake. If you have a comp that is just designed to overwhelm the site anchors and force your opponents to play retake, that's going to put you in a pretty decent position.
Even seeing Loud adjust in the moment, not going into the default ebb and flow of the usual rounds. I mean, they planted towards backside. They knew that Hookah was compromised in that last round. They're really making it difficult for Lev to just try and play those retakes.
Now, I will say, I've been talking a lot about gaining momentum and punishing the economy of Leviatán, building up ult cycles. That ult cycle has now pretty much ended. The closest person to an ultimate is QCK, 3 away from getting the Phoenix ult back. But you can take a look at it there yourself. Clearly, Leviatán are now in control in that department. So this round has less threats to it from Loud. And if Leviatán are able to stabilize themselves a little bit and win this one so that their economy starts going again, they're going to be in a good position here.
They're going to be hoping for a nice healthy round. On to the other side of this one with some guns intact. Have their chances for sure. Barriers down. This knife lineup probably going to be landing all the way over towards Garden. Backside of B long.
Sadak is actually knifing the opposite side of the map that they're hitting, which could be something that Leviatán can read into later on. He's never following the knife, really.
Double face. This is left, just seeking to try and fight this one. Raw firepower is the name of the game. There was no util to set that one up. Back it away when the trade comes through. Plenty of fuel left here for Les to try and gain some of that ground. His team right next to him. Through showers, flash through, nade, forced out now. Aiming to delay.
Deep down short, Brent.
What's this here? Fight towards default, that's Aspas. One-man army, but shut down again by Sadak still. They've got control of lamps, doubled up, side by side, a tap. Not quite committal now by Sadak. Wants to get this plant down towards triple. Rotations abound by Con. He's going to be a bit late to the party, but he's got the Seekers now to utilize. And hot, okay, hot flash. Bit skew whiff, but Sadak's alive. Not punished for the mistake. Seekers right behind him. He can't quite deal with it. 9 bullets left, not enough. King runs straight up onto the line. Back at triple now, and you got to imagine Lev, they're going to have that discipline. Jump spot. No easy fight, but 2 years. Known for it. Molly dropped down. He cannot even walk up to them here. Mazzino sticking all the way into the diffuser spam. Half all the way through. There it is.
Excellent util usage towards the end there from King and Mazzino. It's just checkmate.
Yeah.
You throw down the snake bites and you've got the cove. An unlosable situation and a very good conversion of a player advantage. Something that they hadn't really been able to get at any point. Loud had mostly been going for these A hits on the anti-ecos. This duel, though, massive. If Aspas ends up going down to Kawanzine, Kawanzine's got an awesome position on site to play the rest of his team in.
King. Thank you.
So Lev stabilize.
Yeah, Lev stabilize and get up close to ultimates.
Viper's Pit drop down, that's into shorts. That's to give their defensive setups a bit of extra bite. Oh my god. Lucky to not go down. Aim now for Loud. Set the sights on to B.
Sadak is just taking hookah on his own. He's alone. Last time they tried to do a hookah crunch on him, and hookah crunches are really good when your Viper's got the pit short.
Refight. It's called off for them. Lovely, lovely attempt here with all of it. Satchel through, Les, aftershock, nowhere to run, nowhere too high. Aspas eventually drop at the refight, call again, detainment, it's massive. Skip it up all you like to as you in, escaping away from that one, but from the back, it's Les dealt with.
Lev climbing further and further up, figuring out how to deal with this Loud B exec in real time. And the 2 refights, one to re-clear hookah, and one to re-clear long, like almost immediately afterwards. Really excellent stuff there. Flash dizzy combo, and then a thrash over there towards long. Both areas re-cleared at once is so unusual, and that caught Loud way off guard.
Yeah, and I love that call by Lev. I think it's a fantastic read in terms of how to dish it out against a team like Loud, because they're very obvious when they're taking that space. You know, they use a lot of util to clear up to be long. There was a QCK flash. It gives them appropriate timers to try and refight for some of it.
Now look at this.
They're calling a second timeout.
Yeah, Leviatán are using their second timeout here after winning 2 rounds in a row. And I think the reason for this, Brennan, is because the ults are starting to get online again for Loud. So they've been able to win these 2 rounds when Loud weren't really using big ultimates. And now that Loud's ult cycle is starting to come back, Lev are having some input about maybe adjusting something proactively. You look at what's available here, Aspas is always going to be a threat with that showstopper, no matter where he is around the map. They haven't really seen what Tuiz's plan is with the orbital strike particularly. I mean, he used it fairly aggressively to try and put some pressure on them, but what's the game plan? Where are they going? Sadak looks like he's grouping his team up to head down short. I mean, this might be as simple as the Lamps orbital strike and send the Phoenix down the lane.
Oh yeah, they want to go fast. Here we go. Run it back. Flash through. Off at your feet, but you do not care. Stuns. Or drop down. Tech's got a kill onto Kawanzine. In through the back, and he's just ducked and weaved and dodged, and he's still alive. Mazzino right to the side of triple here, but Tech's eventually cleaned up. That was a Showers player.
And now Loud are actually calling a freeze in the round, backing up, inserting QCK. He's really deep in Lamps here. And the quieter Loud are, the more Leviatán are going to want to re-clear this and potentially walk into him.
How do you re-clear it? Left QCK moves forward, flash through. combined with a QCK peek. The back of the site fully cleared out. Orbital strike just for the unknown area. Showstopper. Showstopper! He saw him! Aspas catching it right onto the toes. A QCK plant. Now get off here. Mazzino with the flank all the way through into the back. Everybody peeking this one at the same time. Mazzino lucky to be alive still. Walls up, splits him up. They've got to play in front of this one here for Loud. It's going to make these post plants even more awkward to try and play for. Molly sent flying. Beautiful angle to peek there, but it's cleaned up and traded. The kill confirmed. King! And Combo to the fuse. He stuck this one already halfway through. And the safety in numbers, plenty of them. Teammates got his back.
Leviatán have definitely figured out what they're doing now against Loud. Like getting up to map point after one hell of a comeback from Loud, honestly. But let's string 3 rounds in a row together. And they dominated Shower's control throughout all of that. Mazzino started putting pressure behind. Aspas used his ult just to make sure that his team could get into backside and pull off the retake. Good stuff. Good team coordination.
Charlie Mike, let's move.
And another great round from King.
Shutting them down.
Navigating the ults. Get themselves up to 12. This is your chance, your opportunity here, if you are Lev, to get this map done and dusted, dealt with. And Sadak, well, he was alone. Completely on an island. IGL down. How do you pick up the pieces if you are Loud? Smoke fades. Flash to the corner, QCK. Tap of the orb. Again, trying to bait out that response, but no one bites. Lev. Falling for the reinforcements. Mazzino now here. Spike is nowhere near.
Yeah, Loud are playing a spread default at the start of this round, and I think Sadak just thought, based on them hammering B over and over again, he thought they might be conditioned to give up showers.
Right here.
It's fallen at the start of this round, and to be honest, Loud don't have too much control. They're about to hit into 3 players on B.
Willing to stand and deliver. See how strong the defense really is. Molly there, fault line, dodged. King still going to be active into this fight now with the Cove straight there. Viper Molly's also dropped down. They just cannot get into the site. It's so damn hard for them right now. Kawazine stun in his hand, in through, a little bit too deep there, but it is traded. QCK. Instant now into the back of the site, but there's a smoke just blocking and partitioning. It fades away, opens a chance up all for Loud. 15 seconds left, time becoming an issue. Mosh pit colliding with the back of the wall. The nade on top of this one. They got to try and get this spike all the way down. Les got to commit to this. Stunned up, Tizzy trying to do the most here, but the bullets are just flying through them. And Loud, how have you managed that?
There was so much pressure there onto the from the Leviatán players, sorry. But incredible crossfires from Loud. Mazzino just got left kind of in the open. There's the kill onto him, but he was faced into like 3 or 4 players from Loud who'd all got out into the site. And you saw how deep Kawazine got. He just walked out.
Yeah.
Due to those smokes, a great smoke from 2Es, a Cove as well. Loud is still making a big fight of this.
Still alive in the map. With Sadak going down first as well. What a salvage. One way to go, though. They've got a few chances.
I think one of the questions for Sadak here is, oh, Aspas is on top of truck, actually. Just looking for that early pick.
He's tucked to the side, he's trying to play anti-flash. Yeah, he is.
You are powerless.
That's the old rip, though, with a no command. Maybe Loud. Start the barrel. The way into the side here, paving a bit of a way to get this spike down. Split attempt. Both the team entirety and grouping up right through showers, so that's going to be cleared out. And there's a fight being called into the back of the side. They want to try and fight for this backside control. Mazzino staying alive, but no, he just can't quite do it. Kawazine! Disgusting performance.
That's an outrageous timing to push that. Again, Kawazine stepping up. He was instrumental in their win against Sentinels. I actually think he's going to save. I don't think he is going to die.
No, not right now.
I don't think so. But, I mean, what a play from Kawazine. He was the player that dove out of hookah in the prior round in order to suck up that space for his team and play people in. And this time, finding that avenue to swing back sight. after Mazzino had done a pretty great job there, of being able to dominate a smoke, get his harbor ult off. Kalanzine gets the punish onto him and clean up another 2.
One away now from the ult, Rolling Thunder. The war machine keeps rolling.
It really does. There is power to this Loud composition. Full blind onto Tex. A punish on Mazzino, who I think was trying to and then out to get Aspas.
Was that a 140 at the end? Is that like stealing kills?
Aspas dropped 31 in their opening game against Leviatán on this map. And now he's been kept in check. The trades, the punishes coming out from Loud have been so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, because Loud are playing so tight together, if Aspas wins the opening duel, he tends to get punished immediately afterwards. That is so crucial for keeping a star player like Aspas in check. The final boss on his one of his most dominant maps, Bind, when he played with Loud, is being held down a little bit, and it's fallen to other players like King to step up and try and lead his team to victory. Now the pressure's on King again. Now, Leviatán taking this timeout makes me think the prior one, after those 2 round wins, was probably Loud's.
Yeah, probably mislabeled.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
They don't get 3 timeouts. No. At least they shouldn't.
Something funky going on. But Lev, you look at their economy, they can't afford to buy up here, which means, in all likelihood, we're heading to an explosive round 24 with huge ults online. But Loud still have to navigate this one first, and King is gonna be a problem for Sadak to get through. Sadak's been trying to get hookah control just by flashing his way in, that kind of thing. If they want to go hookah here, King's gonna be a menace with that judge.
King holds his ground. Well, that util expended up through B long. All send flying.
And this is one of the first times that Loud actually follow the knife, going up, taking B long after they suppressed Com. They might be expecting some kind of re-clear here. Remember, Leviatán have gone for that before. And all of this is a bit of a fake, a bit of a ruse.
Trailblazers are clearing. Doesn't spot anything, they don't break it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty important. Now Loud are going to have to go back and make more noise in B long, or even get the punish.
QCK, there it is!
And that's going to now call an audible for Loud. They were trying to fake it and hit over towards A, but they can just hit the gas.
Knife in the back for Com when he was just over-peeking for that info. Rest of the team there. What do you choose to expend? Just the fault line for now. Seems that way, but plenty of reinforcements have arrived. A fast rotation of Lev. They want to be into this fight. Flash, dodge, Aspas! He's only good for the one. QCK was a rapid Ferrari swing from him. And a plant, not pushed back. King, though, still hiding. Unfortunate with the timing. Rough. What can these players really do? Zeno cuts close. No rifle at hand, though, just the Spectre. Couldn't hit the transfer.
Well navigated by Loud. Really excellent decision there. You could see the macro game plan in action. They realized that once the Trailblazers saw nothing over towards B-Long, they had to go back into that area. And Com, thinking that it was safe, just gave them the opening pick. Really smart play from QCK. And also these trade kills are excellent from him. He's negative on the scoreboard, QCK, but he's coming up with really high impact kills when his team needs them, making sure he's part of the system. And here's our explosive round 24.
But the ult's online here. Run it back, flash through, popping straight into the site. Plenty of volleys. Util being expended here, but it's going to be fading. Clears out the smoke. Still, players not being pushed back. Guess what, Mazzino? He's still there. Holding down the ground, but it was a bit of a ruse. They were just trying to pull the players away, but this entire time, Lev have not been pushed back. They've just taken B-Long control. They want to fight for this one themselves. Rolling Thunder carves his way through into the site. It's a refight attempt being called out. Thrash detained. Players locked up, and just they can't do a bloody thing. Lev are here in droves now, and 3 players left standing for Loud. This could be it. The round, the map crumbling for them. Lev hold it down. Plenty of players ready to receive.
Welcome to my
Viper's to try and get themselves out. Listen, the spike is on the ground.
There's so much spam there onto Les. He's knocked down to 30 health. One more Vandal bullet will do it.
It's just not doable for Loud. They need a miracle here. They're going to try and run themselves up now. Up through B long, but Thrasher's round 2 once more. Entertainment! He catches, and the cover's not there. Not in the slightest. It's over. In the blink of an eye. 30 seconds left.
30 seconds
Weak and
left.
fragile, Les retreating. But what can he do?
He's pulled off the first part of the heist, just getting the spike.
20 seconds. He's gone back into B. It's the only option he's got unless he TP's back, but then he's got another player waiting for him.
He's just got to pray to whatever deities he holds dear, but there is simply no chance that he is getting through
10
all
seconds
5
left.
players of Leviatán.
It's looking preordained. Aspas.
Flawless.
Finally, there it is. The final blow for him. And a map on the board against his former team.
An awesome start for Leviatán. They came out all guns blazing at the beginning. And not just that, they had the mental fortitude to be able to fend off the comeback. After Loud looked unbelievable on the attack side, putting together so many rounds, Lev figured it out and shut down the comeback. That was Leviatán's map pick, but they looked clean. It wasn't a single player carrying. In fact, it was King stepping up, somebody who'd had a weaker performance in an opener match. They look nasty as a team.
Those are the questions we had as well for a team like Lev. Are they just going to be that one-man army, that show of just Aspas brute forcing his way through his opponents? Wonderful, wonderful map to kick us off here between these two teams. Rivalry really stretching deep here. And Lev one step closer to getting that revenge against Loud. We're stepping away. Up next, Uber and the analyst desk are going to be breaking it all down. You don't want to miss it.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.